Have you ever wanted to just punch your boss square in the face? You've maybe even fantasized about telling that annoying coworker exactly where they can go. If you're nodding your head right now, you're not alone. Workplace conflicts happen to all of us, but reacting with anger could cost you your career. I know, I have been there. So today we're diving into the real way to handle workplace conflicts without losing your cool or your job, your journey to career success. First, let's break this down. Workplace conflict isn't always about the big blowouts or heated arguments. It can be subtle, like passive aggressive emails, being left out of important meetings, or feeling like your ideas are constantly dismissed. Sound familiar? But here's the thing, conflict itself isn't the problem, it's how we respond to it. When handled correctly, conflict can actually strengthen relationships, improve communication, and make your team stronger. Before we dive into what to do, let's talk about what not to do. There are three common ways people handle conflict that almost always backfire. Avoiding conflict might feel easier in the short term, but it usually just makes things worse. Resentment builds, communication breaks down, and the issue gets even harder to resolve later. Lashing out, whether that's yelling, blaming, or sending a heated email, only escalates the situation. Remember, you can't take back your words once they're out there. Talking behind someone's back might feel satisfying, but it's toxic. Gossip only fuels the fire and damages trust across your team. I want to take a moment to share something personal with you because I know how painful workplace bullying can be. A few years ago, I was in a job where I made the mistake of pointing out an error my boss had made, and instead of owning up to it, he decided to make my life hell. He would single me out in meetings, constantly criticize my work, and give me impossible deadlines just to see me struggle. I started dreading waking up in the morning, knowing I'd have to face another day of this. And calling in sick? That wasn't an option. I was terrified I'd lose my job. That experience took a toll on my mental health. I felt trapped, powerless, and anxious all the time. It wasn't until I started documenting the incidents and speaking to HR that I began to reclaim my confidence. Looking back, I realized how important it is to recognize bullying for what it is, a toxic behavior that's not your fault. You deserve to work in an environment where you feel respected and safe. And if you see someone else going through something similar, don't stay silent. I know how much it would have meant to me if someone had stood up for me during that time. You can be that person for someone else. Here's how you can help. Listen to them, let them share their story without judgment. Sometimes just knowing someone sees what's happening can make all the difference. Offer them validation. A simple "I noticed what happened, and it wasn't okay" can mean the world to someone who feels isolated. Be their advocate. If they're too scared to speak up, offer to help raise the issue with HR or management. And in the moment, small acts of allyship, like calling out interruptions in a meeting, can show that person they're not alone. Workplace bullying thrives in silence, but together, we can create a culture where everyone feels safe, supported, and valued. So, what is the right way to handle conflict? The first step is to pause. When you're in the heat of the moment, your emotions can take over. Before you react, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, why am I really upset? Is it about the situation, or is it about something deeper, like feeling undervalued or overwhelmed? Next, it's time to have that difficult conversation. Start by addressing the issue directly with the person involved, not with everyone else in the office. Use I statements to explain how you feel without placing blame. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to my ideas," try, "I feel frustrated when my ideas aren't acknowledged in meetings." Finally, shift the focus to solutions. What can both of you do to prevent this issue from happening again? Maybe it's setting clearer boundaries, improving communication, or scheduling regular check ins. Bullying and conflict can feel overwhelming, but I want you to know this. You're not alone, and you don't have to accept a toxic work environment. Whether you're standing up for yourself or supporting a coworker, your voice matters. And by taking small, brave steps, you can protect your mental health and help create a better workplace for everyone. If this video resonates with you, Please share it with someone who might need it. And let's start a conversation. What's the toughest workplace conflict you faced and how did you overcome it? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button.